r/ask Reddit. What is a weird obscure item you own that you think most people don't know exists? What is it used for? I have what looks like an oval brass pillbox. But when you open it there is a chain inside that is connected to the bottom part. The chain is about 18 inches long and has a hook on the end. It was made for a woman to pull up the zipper on the back of her dress after she put the dress on. The hook on the end of the chain goes in the hole on the zipper tab. And then you pull the chain to pull the zipper up. A computer component named the Physics Processing Unit. Before Nvidia bought it, you had to buy a separate card for Nvidia's PhysX system. The card was a C card and it aided the CPU in physics processing. Some games even had levels that were unplayable without one or extra features that use the card. I have one of these cards. But I don't use it because old tech and new tech don't mix well. I have a stamp holder. It's a frog on a tree stump and you pull the stamps out of the frog's mouth like a tongue. You wrap the stamps around this center mechanism inside of the stump and hold it in place with a little metal clasp. Most people just keep the stamps on the flat piece of paper they peel off of. I use my frog. My son unfortunately destroyed it and it is now in tatters. But I had a scroll with one of the earliest versions of the St. George and the Dragon on it. It was a highly valuable item. I also have a monocle that belonged to my great grandfather. I chopped a foot and a half of my hair off and just put it in my empty bathroom drawer. Doesn't have a use except remind me I did an oopsie. Edit. I have both my fucking feet okay. A gold, fake, obviously, can of Mountain Dew with Yoda's face on it that was part of promotion for the Phantom Menace. It is still sealed. I have the vintage tuna harpoon tip. People always comment on my penguin, which is a penguin shaped pitcher that is used to aerate and pour wine. A large dime. Seriously, it's like 3.5 inches diameter and 1 stroke 4 inch thick. I use it for making big decisions. I still have my pet rock Herman from 6th grade. He doesn't do a thing. No one knows I have him. I have a mini Hatsune Miku concert box thingy. It's just a cardboard box that you can fold a certain way. Then you open a link to a YouTube video that was provided when you bought the item and then you just put the smartphone playing the video on top of the box and it creates an optical illusion that makes it look like you've got a miniature Hatsune Miku hologram perform a concert inside the box. A Vectrex. A very rare home console from the early 80s that used vector instead of raster graphics, i.e. lines instead of pixels. The system had to come with its own TV screen in order to be able to display its graphics correctly. It was actually a pretty good system but was expensive for its time and had the misfortune to release right before the great video game market crash of the early 80s, so very few people bought one. But it remains a compelling little curio in the history of gaming. It's not really obscure or weird in and of itself, but the magnitude of it makes it a bit weird. I have a collection of several thousand fortune cookie fortunes. I don't use them for anything, though I have thought it'd be cool to wallpaper a room with them. Only about 300 of them are in any sort of order or curated nicely. The rest are just in my basement in a big oil drum that my wife found on the cheap. Folks who find out I have so many always ask what my favorite ones are. I have to. 142.7% of all statistics are made up on the spot. 2. You're a good person, and I like number 1 for obvious reasons. Number 2 is cool because of the typo and the fact that, cutting off as it does, it raises so many questions about what happened to the dude who was typing it. Did he suddenly die mid-fortune? Did he get attacked by ninjas? Did he have a rom-com revelation that he was wasting his life making a fortune writing fortunes? And then just flip the table and go rushing off to stop his one true love from marrying the wrong man? I'll never know. And that makes it all the more fun. A spell book. It is a book that contains, well, spells, some rituals, incantations, some plant formulas, etc. I've got the full official Linux operating system fuse with the PS2. I've got a digital camera that shoots pictures directly to floppy disks. Sold it. But I did have a bike out of a whale's penis. It would be too much to say that most people don't know it exists, but I still think it's actually a weird item to exist. The little thing that cuts hard-boiled eggs into slices. A $2 bill. I almost got in trouble at a store because I had fake money. It got cleared up once the manager was called by the employee and pretty much told the employee that they are a dumbass. Yep. A very old yet crazy sharp ritual dagger. It looks like something out of a video game almost, but the construction is solid. I've never seen something so masterfully built and honed in my life. Upvoting a great question. I don't have it anymore because I gave it to an aunt who loves antiques. But at one point I had an 1800s era button hook used to close the buttons on boots in that era, instead of shoelaces. They were closed with buttons. It's not really that obscure, but I own a snake with no teeth that only eats quail eggs. She's a bit weird, but I like her. I snuck up on her squishing the first one. A random glass egg that's now our family heirloom. No story behind it other than my dad stole it when he was 14. I own a ball, slightly larger than a golf ball, of pure zinc. It has no true functional purpose. But I hold it when I drive. A first gen iPod Nano running Linux. Because why not? http://www.ipodlinux.org/. There's two things in my house that people always stare at or ask about. The first is a Pro Winder. A tuning peg winder with integrated cable cutters and string pin remover. Used on instruments like a guitar to quickly wind new strings around the tuning pegs and cut them. Looks like a weird kitchen utensil. The second is a guitar string crown that I made. It's a big ring made of my old guitar strings all woven into each other. Kind like Jesus horn crown except with guitar strings. Looks pretty cool because guitar strings have colorful shiny balls at the end. Here's a pic. Edit. Added pictures. I have a small red velvet bag that contains a brass weight and chain. It's used to measure the official height of a tennis net. I have no idea why or how I came to have it. But there it is. I have something called a head puller, which sounds like either a sex toy or a torture device. But it's just a very specialized hook for removing and replacing the heads of ball-jointed dolls. The old dried out corn cob back scratcher. Not sure how popular they are outside of Indiana. But these scratchers are better than your grandma's nails. A Curter. It's the worldwide only portable fully mechanical calculator. It's amazing. Helium neon laser. I'm slowly purchasing the needed tools for holography. I have a Beta or shotgun owned by Doc Holliday with a loop on top. Was kept under a poker table on a hook ready for use. I also have dozens of the working prop guns used in old westerns. And I do mean dozens. Closing in on 100. I own citric acid. Citric acid can be used as a cleaning agent, but fun fact, it is the sprinkles of clear sourness they put in your sour gummy candies like Sour Patch Kids and Sour Skittles. It's a nice life hack for me. BC, I love sour candy, and if it's not sour enough I can add more citric acid to any candy to upgrade it. Did this with my baby bottle pop the other day. The real reason I have it though is for use in bath bombs, as the ingredients that causes bath bombs to fizz and disperse the ingredients swim out in the water. My mom gave me a small box which has been passed down from her grandmother. It's a small metallic box from 1920s. It has an eyeshadow box, a lipstick tube, cigarette holder, and has a music box built in it. Yes. All in one compact metal box. Mom and I were watching TV one day and one of those antique programs was on. Someone brought a box very similar to ours but had other things in it in different color. The host said there's only 20 in the world of these boxes and they are in different colors and had different things in it. It wasn't that valuable, unfortunately. But the uniqueness and rarity is what it makes it so cool. I can't wait to pass it on to my kids in the future. Edit. I checked and it's from 1930s. Not 1920s. Edit. Just took pictures and video. Metal box. Music box in the metal box. I am an avid dumpster diver. Take my truck through rich neighborhoods on trash night and grab things from curbs. Anyway, I found a $50 bill in Zimbabwe money. Because of their hyperinflation problem. That $50 Zimbabwe is worth about 14 American cents. Lol. I have a Russian Raycata watch that's left from my grandfather. It doesn't run on batteries and it still works normally. I think it's manufactured in the 1960s or something. Close to 60 years old watch and still going strong. Clip-on cook nail. I have a crepe pan. It's like a normal pan, except it's inverted. You dip the convex top side into the crepe batter and then place it on the stove atop, cooking the thin layer of batter that has coated the pan for a perfectly golden brown crepe every time. I have a teeny tiny hand blender looking thing in a stand on my counter. It's used to froth milk. My wife and I really like fun evening lattes. I hope you don't mind a digital object. On my computer, I have this program. It's an eggs output of a macro that I made using auto hotkey. What this macro does is output! Mine. Followed by a press of the enter key whenever I press Ctrl+. What is this for? Why did I make this? I'll tell you. There's this game that I occasionally play. It's run out of a Discord server and uses chat commands. The main one being mine. Used to mine slime in the mines. Why not just copy and paste? Because then I have to press enter. And when you're down in the mines, you gotta optimize everything to save yourself from the greatest danger of all. Repetitive strain injuries. I would use a bot. But those were banned due to the great mining incident of 2018. When one robot caused a cave-in that kept people from leaving the mines with the go to command. But now it is true that it was thanks to that bot that we were able to reawaken Endless War, defeat the Nega Slime, and impeach the Lord Mayor of Ghosts, now merely a ghost. But the fact is that the little guy still caused a lot of damage. And so his kind are forever banished from New Los Angeles City, aka Neo Milwaukee. I have this weird lever in my car. When I push it down, lights on the left outside of my car start flashing. When I push it up, the lights flash on the right. Not sure how it's used, though. QEMM8. With book and everything. Used to be a must-have when the 386 was king. Photographic proof that William Shatner is my father. It's used for blackmail. A pocket knife my grandfather was given during World War II, taken off a Japanese soldier. It was modified to also be able to fire a small lead ball. Really cool artifact. The thought being you run up and stab an enemy and then fire the ball at point blank. The trigger mechanism still works, but I don't dare actually fire it. A 1971 mine detector that the US made for Germany military. Comes with a German manual and everything. Although I'm not German, I still have it. Lol. A meteorite I saw coming down and hit the ground when I was hitchhiking in Spain in th90s. I had a bad day where nobody let me drive with them and was somewhere in the middle of absolutely nothing and just slept there in my sleeping bag. When suddenly this enormous noise woke me up. It came down a few hundred meters away and I waited till next morning to get it out of its hole. It's hidden in my living room and the one thing I would rescue if my house burned down. My fellow stitchers will know what's up. Needle minders. It's a magnet that you use while you're stitching. When you're done stitching or if you're changing out the color of your thread etc. You drop your needle on the minder and it keeps it in place. Bonus use, if I lose a needle I just scan the vicinity with the needle minder and it usually finds it. I got a bread toaster from the 1800s. I got it from my grandfather. It can be used on top of the gas stove or over an open fire. Last print 1984 £1 note. An earshell and solbruch still in versature, acker an eggshell predetermined breaking point causer. Got to love the German language. https://www.youtube.com/watch?fd7uhYxcbqy. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that star button for more high quality content.